Hey guys, there's not gonna be a lot of gameplay in this video, but I want to talk about two builds. Both are work in progress, but I may never finish them. First, Whispering Eyes build, using Doedre skin and Doedre's corn helmet and using 6 curses. And the second build is mostly just in path of building, but with some testing. Vaal Righteous Fire with over 5 million ignite damage. So back to Whispering Eyes, and it's not gonna be about the build itself, but I want to talk specifically more about Doedre skin armor. Socketed curses in this armor are supported by level 20 blasphemy, and this armor has a unique skill, Doedre's Effigy. It is like a totem, but I think it's not actually a totem. It does not count towards your maximum amount of totems allowed, and it is not affected by totem duration nodes. It also ignores your curse limit, so you can have 6 curses. I really love this idea because I am a big fan of curses. And this, armor and 6 curses synergizes very well with Doedre's corn helmet. Because with Doedre's corn, enemies that get cursed by you get 20% increased damage per curse. So that is 120% increased damage on top of all the things that curses do to the enemies. And since both of them are energy shield based and has intelligent, I decided to go with Whispering Eyes. And that's where I ran into problems with this setup. It is extremely clunky, especially when using casual channeling Whispering Eyes. This Doedre's Effigy skill takes quite a lot of time to cast. Animation seems very slow even for it starts affecting enemies almost instantly. So you kind of need a lot of cast speed to make it feel faster, and totem placement speed does not affect it. Maybe curse cast speed affects it, but I'm not sure. And since I rely heavily on all my curses, my damage without it kind of is bad, so it feels like I have to use it almost on every enemy pack. And then Ice Storm, which I'm using with casual channeling. Once you click your channeling ability, it does not immediately start dropping Ice Storms, and then wait for Ice Storms to start dropping and stacking the damage. And I mean, the damage is really good against single target, but for mapping and just leveling speed is just so horrible, I could not stand it. And this is coming from a guy who did Flame Dash Totem build. And initially I was using self-cast, without casual channeling, and it felt better, but I needed more cast speed and the skill cost a lot of mana, and I did not have enough mana. Also, using Spell Echo or Spell Cascade is just out of the question, because it just kills your FPS instantly, and I don't want to play Minecraft. Also, I got Watcher's Eye that recovers energy shield every time you hit an enemy, and on paper it sounds like a good idea, and it sort of is against big pack of enemies, so you can heal yourself, especially because I also have Ghost Reaver and lead shield to my energy shield, but against single target it's really not enough. So, sadly, I think I'm gonna maybe retire this build. I really want to play with Doedre skin a bit more, but I think I need a faster build. And that's the point about this Doedre skin. You sort of need a fast build. And I mean fast not as in movement speed fast. So I may do something with Doedre skin in the future for maybe some other build that has like instant damage without any delays. I will include path of building import code for this build, but it's not finished. And on to the second build that I wanted to talk about, Vaal Righteous Fire Ignite build. As you know, ignites are shit, and probably the only way to get good ignite damage is to use Vaal Righteous Fire. I played a bit in path of building with numbers and items, and I managed to reach over 5 million ignite damage against standard bosses, but it requires pretty expensive gears that I don't have, and also kind of clunky. It is sort of very conditional build. You need to do a lot of things before you use Vaal Righteous Fire on the boss. You can use it just for clearing, but I don't know, it may not be very viable just for clearing. And you do recover a lot of life on kill, so you sort of, you are risking every time you click Vaal Righteous Fire. But if you can instantly kill a lot of enemies at the same time, then it's fine. Also, this is Elementalist, and I am using, a hybrid setup, life plus energy shield. Since Vaal Righteous damage scales with both ES and life, I did want to get as high effective life pool as possible. And I did try different setups. I did try low life guardians, I did try berserker with just full life, but in the end Elementalist had the most damage, but I mean, it doesn't make it any better. I did refine my Detonate Dead Ignite build a bit slightly and tested this setup with way worse gears, and I only had about 1.5 million ignite damage. but that was enough to one-shot lower tier bosses. But the build felt like a wet toilet paper. If enemies sneeze in your direction, you just become full of holes. And once you lose energy shield, your damage potential is lowered. So it was extremely clunky to use, and I died so many times just trying to cast Vaal Righteous Fire. But it does feel very pleasant to one-shot bosses with ignites. Like I said, this is mostly just a theory build inside Path of Building and not a full build guide. So the idea for this build was born from the Blasphemer's Grasp gloves. The more Elder items you have, the higher ignite damage you're gonna do. So in perfect situations you want to get all the Elder items. And you want all your armor pieces to be pure energy shield with a lot of energy shield and life. Body armor should also have percentage based life gain on kill. Also, Blasphemer's Grasp gloves are not properly calculated in Path of Building, so I had to modify it a bit and just give a flat values. Since in my setup I do have 10 Elder's items, I just multiply all the values by 10 and just added it as flat. So in sort of end setup I do have close to 6000 life and over 4000 ES. For skills and links, Vaal Righteous Fire is linked to Chance Ignite, Deadly Ailments, Unbound Ailments, Swift Affliction, and Burning Damage, all with quality. Of course, Discipline and Clarity auras, well, maybe Clarity not that needed. Also Purity of Elements if needed, Vaal Lightning Trap, just to shock bosses, Rallying Cry for extra bit more damage. Orb of Storms with Curse on Hit, Flammability, and Elemental Weakness, also it will trigger elemental overload, increasing your ignite damage. So the damage is against shocked standard bosses while you have Pendulum of Destruction active. This is by the way at level 85, and you do need as close as possible to 100% chance to ignite, because nothing feels worse than just missing an ignite on your skill that you can only use once. Well, at least against bosses. So the ignite damage is close to 870,000 per second, and it lasts for 6.12 seconds. So you multiply that and you get over 5 million ignite damage. And I did not use perfect gears, and this is level 85, so it can still be improved. But in theory you should be able to one-shot any map bosses until tier 16, because you cannot one-shot Guardians at all. Guardians have way more life and way more resistances. So against shocked Guardians you would do about 3.8 million damage with ignites. And all that is in a perfect situation. So this is more like just a dream that passed. Strangely, I did not play Vaal Righteous Fire before it got nerfed. I mean before damage over time got nerfed. But people were able to one-shot Guardians. And here's the problem. If ignites were buffed again, we would have the same problem. And people would just use Vaal Righteous Fire to one-shot any bosses. So, I don't know how I feel about damage over time nerfs. Maybe it is good that we no longer have such OP mechanics, but then again using Ignite on any other build just doesn't feel right. And as I said, I did try using Ignites on Detonate Dead, and Detonate Dead deals a lot of damage, initial hit damage, but still it was not enough to feel comfortable playing with Ignites. And that's all for now. I am playing some different builds right now. I am playing Scorching Ray with Balefire, but it is mostly just to kill Shaper, and after that I'm gonna be back to some meme builds. Like, I was thinking about either Lightning Warp Totems or some kind of Incinerate build, or heck, something completely different. So we'll see. Thank you for watching and see you soon.